Hey y'all, it's Kayla, and I'm trying to keep up these videos. I'm still on my Black Moms Home Birth series, and this specific topic is, I guess, I don't want to say it's not controversial, but with all of the different identities and the way that the current social climate is, people are moving away from wanting to know the gender or the sex of their babies, but we did. So these are just some different ways for if you want to know the sex of your child and you are having a home birth. A lot of people don't know that these options are available. Many of them are the same as if you're having a traditional OBGYN cared for hospital birth. With that being said, I want to do a small caveat on gender disappointment, which I had no idea what that was prior to becoming pregnant myself. I never heard of it. And it's essentially when you are hoping for your child to be a specific gender or sex, be that a girl or a boy, and you got the opposite. So say you're on your first child and you always wanted your son to be the oldest to look after his little sister, or you're on your third child and you have 3 girls and you're really hoping for your boy, or you have 4 boys and you're really hoping for your girl. So, and you get, the opposite of what you expected. Doesn't mean you love the child any less. It's just a little bit of disappointment because maybe this is your last pregnancy, or maybe you don't, you can't safely get pregnant again, or like this is the end of it. So you kind of just grieve for what could have been, and you learn to accept and love what was. That was not the case for us. We would have been happy with either gender or sex. My husband would have been happy. I wanted a boy. I'm pretty transparent about that. I was not trying to do any hair. I enjoy being the queen of our castle, but if I would have had a daughter, she would have been dope. She would have been loved just the way that our son is, and I would have got over it. I would have dealt with it and just moved forward. So if you feel that, I want you to know that I'm here for you. I save space for you. I understand a lot of moms, dads, grandparents, and a lot of different people experience that, and I don't think that means they love the child any less. All right, getting into some of the ways doing a doing a home birth. So for us, even though I knew in my heart of hearts that I wanted a home birth, I did want it to go for coordinated care. I wanted to see if I could find an OB that would be willing to coordinate care with my pregnancy with my midwife. And of course, I was not able to. So at about 12 weeks, I ended up dropping the OB care and solely relying on my midwife. But before then, we did get the opportunity to get NIPT, which is non-invasive prenatal testing, where they drew my blood and they submitted it to the lab and to the company to where they were able to determine the sex of my child based off of the chromosomes found, since I'm a woman. If there was an XY, I believe, he's a boy. If all they saw were X's, then she's also a woman as well. And we got the test back, and since we did a gender reveal or a sex party, whatever you want to call it, I did not get the results, nor did my husband. We had a keeper of the gender, my best friend, who was also pregnant, and I did the same thing for her. And the way that worked was that on the paperwork, when they called me and they asked me, hey, we have your results in, do you want to know? I said no. I gave them her phone number and they told her. And then she held on to it. This was very early on. I think, babe, I was 10 weeks pregnant? I was like 8 weeks pregnant when we got it done, and then 10 weeks pregnant once we had the party. Like, as soon as she got the results, she ordered the cannons, I believe. How do we do it? We sent her the money so she can order the cannons and all that stuff, and we had the party like the next weekend. We wanted to know. And then on the flip side, at the all the way end of that is you can just wait until the birth. Like, I was on board with that initially, but my husband basically, he wanted to find out, and then I just wouldn't have known. And I didn't trust it to not slip out all the way from 10 weeks to, I delivered at 42 weeks. So I ended up finding out at the same time. But some people can do that. They just wait into the time of the birth, and once the child is here, you don't even have time for disappointment because you're so happy that the baby's here. Girl, boy, you're just happy the child's there. So that is one way that if you want to alleviate some of the stress or like tension around that, and it's not exclusive to home birth, you can do that with a hospital birth as well. Or you can also do it at home on your own. The IMP and IMP testing isn't just exclusively for finding out the sex. It's also to rule out like any genetic disorders or pre-existing conditions that are screenable or able to be determined during the pregnancy, so you have the information to make the best decision for you and your family, whether that's to continue the pregnancy and be better equipped, or whether it's not the best idea for you and your family. So you don't have to do that, right? You can do it at home. They have this company called Sneak Peek Testing. A lot of people in my mom group did it. You order the test, they send it to your house. You do it yourself. You get a little bit, you have to prick yourself. I was hesitant about that one because if you live in a household with both genders or sexes present, then you do have to watch out for cross-contamination. And at the time I was living with my brother, my mom, my husband, it was just, I wanted to go with a more guaranteed, concrete way. But a lot of people say Sneak Peek has been accurate for them. They've done it and it's been correct. Some people have not had that experience, but they have an excellent refund policy from what I've seen on the website. And then a last one, more traditional, is you can just wait until your 20-week scan, your 20-week ultrasound. Even with home births, if it's a midwife-attended home birth, she can send you for ultrasounds. My midwife would just write it up. I would go to the local hospitals, like pregnancy and maternity unit. They would do the ultrasound. I had more ultrasounds than average, just throwing that out there, just because of how my pregnancy developed. But you can wait until 20 weeks, and by that point, the baby's genitalia or private areas will be developed. You'll be able to see, you'll be able to celebrate, you'll be able to move from there going forward. If you want to do gender neutral coloring, or if you want to do a specific color, now that you know what sex your child is going to be, you can go from there. The least reliable is you can do old wives' tales like, oh, you're carrying low, it must be a girl, or you're carrying high, it must be a boy, or oh, you're not gaining that much weight, it must be a girl, or oh, this is, you're getting up, it must be a boy. So that's a way to do it too. That's also not exclusive to home birth. But for some reason, people thought that since I was having a home birth, I was going to have to wait until the baby was born to know the sex, like that I didn't have a choice. But the thing about home birth is it gives you a lot more choices, in my opinion. So that's just my feedback on having a home birth and still wanting to know the sex of your baby. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye.